Let's begin our descent into the story of Until Dawn. 1 year has passed since Melanie mysteriously vanished. Her sister Clover sets out with 4 of her friends to the same place where Melanie sent her final video. Clover visits the only shop in the area and shows the store owner a photo of her sister. He looks at it and says, "There's a place not far from here. They call it Glor Valley. People go there, but they never come back." So Clover and her friends head that way. A brutal storm hits during the drive, but the second they arrive, the rain just stops. They spot a strange old building and go inside, but it's completely empty. Abe steps into one of the rooms and finds something chilling: photos of missing people plastered across the wall. Nina discovers a list, page after page filled with just one name: Melanie. They split up to explore the place more thoroughly. Abe goes first, but when he doesn't return, Nina searches for him and finds his lifeless body. Then, a masked figure attacks her and kills her too. Max secretly witnesses everything and rushes back to warn Clover and Megan. They hide, terrified, but it doesn't matter. The killer finds all 3 of them and murders them brutally. All 5 friends are dead. But the nightmare doesn't end there. A strange hourglass in the room flips, and just like that, they all come back to life. But once the last grain of sand drops, they die, again. Then they wake up, again, alive, confused, frightened, and on the board of missing persons. Their photos are now there too. Megan becomes possessed by the spirits of previous victims and dies a horrific death. Clover hears Melanie's voice behind a door. She follows it, and suddenly, across from the house they're in, a new house appears, one that wasn't there before. Clover heads toward it, but is thrown into it by an invisible force. Max, her boyfriend, runs out to save her. Meanwhile, Nina and Abe jump into the car, trying to escape and call for help. Inside the strange house across the road, Clover comes face to face with an old witch. The woman hands her a strange oxygen-like mask and says, "You too must suffer, like the others in this cursed valley." Clover inhales the gas. Her eyes change color. She's possessed. Max rushes inside to save her, but Clover, no longer herself, kills him. Meanwhile, another masked figure finds Nina and Abe in the car and kills them both, then drives the car straight into Clover. They all die, again. But once more, the hourglass flips, and all 5 friends return to life. It's a death loop, a horrifying, endless cycle they can't escape. Terrified and desperate, they lock themselves inside the bathroom. Abe drinks from the tap and passes the water around. Moments later, one by one, they explode. In Clover's final seconds, the store owner reappears, now dressed in a formal suit. "You need to do something," he says, and then Clover explodes. But once again, they're all alive, still trapped. Now they search the house top to bottom, hoping for answers. They find a photograph. It's the shopkeeper, but under a different name, Dr. Hill. 20 years ago, an explosion in Glor Valley destroyed the town. Over 1,100 people died. Dr. Hill had been sent there as a psychologist to help survivors, but an old video reveals the truth. He didn't help anyone. He turned the survivors into test subjects, starving them, chaining them, breaking them psychologically, until they transformed into creatures called indigos, monsters with no humanity, only silent rage and an endless thirst for death. Then, over the loudspeakers, Dr. Hill's voice speaks directly to Clover. "Come into the forest. Come alone, if you want to speak with me and see your sister again." Clover runs into the forest. Max follows her. In the dark woods, they both die. Back in the house, Nina and Abe are slaughtered by an indigo. Once again, they wake up. But this time, Megan is missing. They find a notebook and realize it's been 13 days since they first arrived. But none of them remembers how many times they've died during that time. In the notebook, they find one terrifying truth. Each name only appears up to day 13, which means if they don't escape by midnight tonight, they'll be trapped here forever, transformed into indigos. And that's when they finally realize Megan is missing. Abe checks his phone, and what he finds is chilling. Dozens of videos showing each of their deaths, captured during the past 13 cursed days. Now they know. They have one last chance. Survive until midnight, or lose themselves forever. They set off to find Megan, but an indigo ambushes them. Nina, Max, and Abe yell, "Clover, go! Find Megan! We'll hold it off!" Clover dives into a dark basement, and there she finds her sister. But Melanie has already turned. Now an indigo herself, Melanie attacks, and in a heartbreaking moment Clover shoves her straight into a knife. Melanie dies. Meanwhile, the others manage to destroy the attacking indigo. Further in, Clover discovers a glass chamber. Inside, Megan, chained up across from another indigo. They're both shackled, but the indigo is breaking free. Clover frantically searches for a key and enters another room, where Dr. Hill is waiting. "You, Clover, after your mother's death and your suicide attempt, you're the perfect candidate. You were born to become an indigo." But as he's distracted, Clover quietly collects the water dripping from the ceiling and pours it into his coffee. Dr. Hill drinks. Seconds later, boom, he explodes. Clover grabs the keys, frees Megan, and the two escape the basement. The hourglass runs dry, but this time they've done it. All 5 friends are alive. The sun rises, and finally, they've broken the death loop. They jump in the car and speed away from that cursed valley. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit that like button. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe right now, so you never miss the next movie recap. I've got 6 playlists from different genres, and I add new movies every single month. You can see them right here on the end screen. Hit subscribe first, then pick a playlist, and keep the adventure going.